Greetings, citizens of the world. How you folks doing out there? Hopefully everybody is well. I know we're going through a tough time right now as a world society, as a world community here in the U.S. My thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Italy, people affected in China, anywhere in the world that you're affected. We're going through some strange times right now, some crazy times. As you all know what we're facing. It's the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. I mean, so many people are sick, so many people have yet to be tested, so many folks, losing loved ones. Not so many, but, one is still one too many, is enough to have an impact. Some people may look at the numbers and say, oh, only a couple hundred dead or close to 1,000 or whatever. Yeah, things are getting serious because it's saying, being reported by NBC News that New York City mayor says shelter in place decision coming in the next 48 hours. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's some unprecedented things happening right now that we have to deal with. There are people out there panicking, hoarding toilet tissue, fighting over toilet tissue, doing all kind of crazy stuff, buying up all the stuff at the stores, trying to figure out how long this is going to last. Schools are closing. People are social distancing. That's a whole thing in itself. That's a whole other video in itself. So many different things are going on, that people forget, what you can do in this time, when you have to possibly shelter in place or face a national lockdown, or if you're already locked down where you are. You could do things here like I'm doing, just focusing on your health. There's different things that you can do, making sure you keep your immune system up, because the immune system it's one of those things that will help you fight off or stave off the disease, because it attacks those with respiratory issues or underlying issues. There's a whole bunch of information you could check out from the World Health Organization and the CDC on how to prevent. And there's health organizations or health places you can go to find out different ways to, boost your immune system. That's something that would definitely help you during this time and any other time, and try to learn as much as you can about the particular virus, COVID-19. You can even take this time to read a book, write, do something productive. You know what I'm saying? One of those things that may benefit you. And for people that are in the United States, maybe you could fill out the census or get something done that you needed to get done. The point is that this can be a productive time. It doesn't have to be totally wasteful. There's things that we have to figure out. There's a lot of confusion going on. There's a lot of people that are afraid, that are scared. Try to make sure your family's safe. Try to stay healthy. Try to do the things that you can do, to get yourself in the proper way. But panicking and buying up a whole bunch of stuff and spending your money, not knowing where the next dollar may come from, or if you have an abundance and not sharing with your fellow neighbor, it only hurts us all. Also, if you're sick and you can, like I said, I'll repeat this again, if you're sick and you can, stay home. Because there's a lot of people who really don't realize that are asymptomatic, meaning they don't show symptoms, that are going out into the streets, that may not have been tested yet for the COVID-19, that are infecting other people, especially the elderly and people with underlying conditions. It's a real problem because people are not realizing that they're spreading it. And especially if you don't know that you have it. Of course, they've closed down a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants and different things, but some places they haven't. So it's important to be mindful of that. Also, now's the time to get reacquainted with soap and water. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but the reality of it all is that we have to be careful to wash our hands, wash our faces, be mindful of the surfaces that we're touching and different things of that. Be aware. Try not to panic. I know from some people you're scared. You may not know how this whole thing is going to turn out. But from the most part, with the numbers that are being reported, obviously there are people that have been lost, due to this outbreak or this global pandemic. And there are people that will continue to be lost, but with information, with the right information, knowing where to go. If you go to the CDC or the World Health Organization, or you check with your local state government, you communicate amongst people that are in the know, you will be safe. You will make it through all right. You may have to do some social distancing. You may have to be careful, whether you're sick or asymptomatic, or you don't have it. You just try to, take the recommendations that are being given, and just, again, be careful out there, and then try to do things that are healthy practices, if you can. Long story short, it's about controlling what you can control. There's so many things we can't control in this world. There's so many things that, are out of our reach. What's going on with the stock market? Are they going to do a lockdown? Will we have to quarantine in place? There's so many different things that, people have to go through. But you can control whether or not, you could do some spring cleaning. You could get some reading going. You could get some family game nights going. You could catch up on movies. You could get some proper rest. You could do some meditation. You could do some prayer. You could do some studying. You could do some real reflecting. It doesn't have to be a time of strife, a time of pain. It doesn't have to be a time of, panic, but the decisions are yours to make. This is not a kumbaya moment by any stretch. I'm not saying everything's going to be all right and it's all sunshine and rainbows, but being smart, being aware, taking the time to think about what we can control around us will help us get through. Being prepared, not being mean toward each other and negative towards each other, being hateful. Because here's the thing about that. I tell the people about that. When you are hateful, when you go to the lowest common denominator as far as humanity and you don't treat each other as human beings, after this is all over, that stuff that we've done to each other to hurt each other or defraud each other or to put each other in a bad way, that stuff is still there. And people remember those things, and it becomes hard to trust, and we create more division in a world that's already so divided. So, as much as possible, you try to come together, try to be there for your fellow neighbor, or try to at least put certain differences to the side for now, because I promise you, there'll be plenty of time for divisions after this thing is all over, after we figure out where the vaccinations are going to come and who's going to heal up quickly or who's fine or who's not. But now is the time not to panic. Now is the time to realize what you have in your control, what you have in your power. Not take the things for granted, the small things, the simple things, like toilet tissue, like having the ability to disinfect, like having the ability to cook. If some of you probably can't cook, I don't know, I can't help you with that. But you get what I'm saying. Because it's as the old timers said, and it's been said in movies and popular literature and written documents, the reason people fail or die in the wilderness is because they do the one thing that people fail to do when in a rough, tumbled, tough situation, is they fail to think. They fail to look around them. They fail to see the things that they have at their disposal, the things that will help you, that will propel you and push you forward, in order to, achieve the objective of survival. And that's why I use wilderness, about survival. So right now, it is about survival. It is about coming out on the other side. Some people may be changed and have to go through things because of this experience. And I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. And I'm not downplaying anybody's struggle. Financial aspect, again, to people out there, I'll say one other thing that I forgot to say. For those people out there struggling with money and going through issues on their jobs, I try to encourage you to be frugal. Don't spend beyond your means. Try to budget your money as much as you can. Spend it if you got it, because you definitely need it in this time when there's a slowdown economically. There's a slowdown in goods and services and things that's being put out there and where you can go and what you can do. But just try to be smart. Just try to be wise. Try to be frugal. That's one of the things I do, saving by the numbers. Anybody that knows that, anybody watching this, there's a lot of smart things. There's a lot of simple things that we can do to survive. And I encourage people to use your wisdom, to use your right mind, to ask a friend, to go to somebody who's wise. If you have somebody that that survived, from the times of the Great Depression, or go and research that, or find out what people did in times historically, when things got tough like this. Or you could go to 1918, when they had an outbreak here in America, what they did in Philadelphia and St. Louis. There's different historical precedences for what's happened. The point of this is to say is that as people, as a society, as a world, as Americans, whatever country you come from, that we've been to tough times before, and we've come through tough times. And I don't think now, is any different to where we can't make it through. Certain things are being said to be unprecedented, and I get that. But what can also be unprecedented is how we overcome, how we recover, how we strengthen and thrive even more. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you thrive and come out of this on the other side, So be healthy, be safe. And like I was saying, don't focus on what you can't control. Don't focus on what you don't know. Focus on what you do know, what you can do, what you can control. Hopefully these words are helpful. Be safe. Take care. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. God bless.